5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's time to count down reality TV's most talked about moments with Amanda Bella. Hey guys, welcome back to Bella Talks TV. This is Amanda Bella here, and it is Friday, November 6th. So just checking in with myself, time and space, figuring out where we are on this planet. We are 1 week away from BRAVOCON. So we have to talk about a couple of things that have been announced since then and what I'm going to be up to out there. And hopefully if you guys are listening and you're going to be out there also, make sure you let me know. I've already had so many people reach out to me that have been wanting to hang out and hook up, meet up, and I'm very, very excited for BRAVOCON this year. It's going to be, my 4th BRAVOCON, and it's with each one, it's really started to evolve more and more. And I've been able to find just like my flow and again, in time and space in this Bravo sphere, like where I belong. And this is, again, just such a great reminder of being with all these like-minded people. And it's really like Bravo fam. And I'm very, very excited for BRAVOCON 2025, 1 week. So I'm actually going out there on Wednesday. So I'm going to be out there a little bit early. And on Thursday, I am going to be basically stalking Kyle Cook. He supposedly is going to be, because T-Mobile, you guys might have seen Lindsay Hubbard's T-Mobile commercial. And she is also, like, I think Summer House in general is a partner with T-Mobile, or there's just a lot of product placement going on around BRAVOCON, et cetera, because there's lots of sponsors. And Kyle is going to be playing, I think, supposedly a secret DJ set, like at the T-Mobile store on the Vegas Strip. So that's going to be sometime on Thursday afternoon. And I'm going to just and it's not like an official thing. It's just like a pop-up thing. So I'm going to be trying to do that, boots on the ground. And then on Friday, when the actual convention begins, DJ Meredith Marks is DJing at 9:30 in the morning as a welcome to BRAVOCON DJ set in the morning. And I got so excited about that. That just, like, I've been dying to see Meredith DJ. And I've seen Kyle DJ already like a couple of times, but in a Vegas setting, like I wanted all of these things to happen. And then now I realized too, I got so excited about Meredith. And then I was like, wait, I still, what are going on the other days then? Well, Saturday morning in the 8 or the 10:30 a.m. slot is DJ Maddie Reese. So Friday's Meredith Marks. These are like 45-minute DJ sets. So to me, I'm taking this very seriously. Like I will be there at the gate, getting there early. Like I want to be watching this all go down because too that their entourages are also going to be there supporting them, like all their friends, family. So Friday's Meredith, Saturday is Maddie Reese, and then on Sunday is Dorinda, welcoming all of us on the third day, hungover, struggling in. Last year it was like, this might be too soon and maybe, not funny to some people, but at the end of like a marathon, people are truly like, their legs are like broken and they're like trying to get across the finish line. And that's Bravo fans on day 3 of BRAVOCON. So we're all like broken ankles, broken toes, no voice, malnourished, hungover, dehydrated, but we're all going hard on day 3. Now, the Watch What Crappens guys, Ben and Ronnie, they are going to be doing the next Gen NYC panel, and that is on Sunday in the last time slot, which is like, I think 4th or 5 p.m. So last year, or the last BRAVOCON, that last time slot on Sunday was famously the Real Housewives of New Jersey panel, but they were split into 2 panels because remember, nobody was getting along. So this was the panel with Jen Aiden, Teresa, Louie, like that couch, that side of the Jersey team. And things got very rowdy with the Q&A. People, I think by day 3 are just like over it. They're feeling very emboldened to speak their, by that point, we all feel like we're like hired by Bravo to be there. And we're like, we're producers now. Okay. I'm basically Andy Cohen now. Like, listen to my opinions. It creates that environment where we all just feel very connected and important. It's very intimate too. So I'm so excited. Even the Ask Andy panel, Jeff Lewis is hosting. And like, I have a very hate-love relationship with Jeff Lewis. But I'm a very, very long time fan of him. So, 10 years of listening to his Sirius show, watching Flipped Out, etc. So anyways, let's get into the show. Again, if you guys have not been here before, my name is Amanda Bella, and this is Bella Talks TV. It's a weekly countdown of reality TV's most talked about moments in a top 5 countdown. And I also do an OMG and LOL of the week, Kardashians, a la Peek and Pit, a la Rose and Thorn, that Andy likes to play sometimes, that kind of thing, and just kind of highlighting some of reality TV's most talked about moments of the week. So this week, let's start with my LOL. Let's start light and funny, because this was a universally loved moment of the week that everybody's been talking about, laughing out loud about. And one of my favorite things is to listen to other podcasters talk about these moments on these shows, because sometimes hearing people recap is even funnier than like the actual moment. So in this case in particular, the podcast, Sexy Unique Podcast, I've been a fan of them for so long, Carrie and Laura, and they started out as a Vanderpump Rules podcast, but as we know, Vanderpump Rules is basically dead as we know it. I mean, we got the new trailer for season 12, which should be season 1 of the reboot. It should be called like Vanderpump Rules Sir something, like Sir Secrets, or it should have been something like that, spinning off of it to differentiate from the old cast and the new. But it's that like intellectual property that Bravo owns, Lisa Vanderpump owns, and she's not going anywhere, you guys. She's going to be loud and proud, front and center at BravoCon. She's going to be doing a photo op where she's doing her own photo op. So she doesn't have to be paired up with anybody, which everyone else is paired up with 1 or 2 other people. And Lisa just gets to have like a solo one. The only other people that get to do that are Portia and I don't know if I saw anybody else besides Portia. Like Portia, Lisa, and Ariana Madix are the only 3 people that I saw that get to have their own no partner, like standalone I'm a star photo ops. Now, we'll talk about a little bit more about BravoCon in a minute, but my LOL of the week is going to go to this moment. I was bringing up Sexy Unique Podcast because the way that they talked about this moment is so freaking funny. And that's another thing I'm looking forward to with BravoCon too, is seeing all these other creators, podcasters, running into people that I've met at previous events, and then also getting to meet all of the people that are out there in the Bravo sphere creating, TikTok, Instagram, whatever, YouTubing that you do. So I'm very excited for that. Okay, but yes, my LOL moment of the week is really Sexy Unique Podcast talking about Todd making out and farting. Angie releasing the information on this recent episode that Lisa told her through her hair at the Vita premiere. So Lisa was going like this, again, for my YouTube fans. Lisa was talking through her hair going, Todd was making out with my friend and farting. And the fact that that's something that they were like keying about is hilarious. Now, again, this is only a secret that Angie was sitting on for probably 2 to 3 weeks since they started filming. So it's not like she's been sitting on this for like years and it was some like deep rooted secret. This is pretty recent, something pretty definitely this season that was just told to her and by Lisa. And it was just to prove the point that Lisa does, spread little rumors and likes to, I guess, play dirty, like, because she's trying to act like her hands are clean. And everybody's like, no, Lisa, this is an example of you told me a really salacious rumor, or you told me some gossip that you heard, or you told me that you found out or confirmed some information that you're digging up on somebody. So people just want her to just admit it. All housewives do it. Every single franchise is struggling with this right now, this idea that no one should be talking to bloggers, but all of them do. Okay, but you do it worse. Okay, but what you did was worse, or the information that you got was like more hurtful. So they're all of their hands are dirty. It's time to just release this as a storyline. We don't want to hear this anymore. And I like to just be in the shadows over here. Like I have DM'd with Tamra. I have DM'd with Angie, just like here and there. Like I don't really like to reach out to that many people, but I do appreciate the ones that are very nice back. I usually always keep it surface, talk about something that they're wearing, talk about something, I never bring up like storylines or like dirt or anything. I always just try to keep it like supportive. And I do like to let them know, especially if they're getting like a lot of hate. I like to go in their DMs and like spread them some love and be like, hey, I'm enjoying you despite what's going on, because I understand, like I am, again, an OG day one Housewives fan. So I feel like I do get to stand on a little bit of a pedestal and be like, this is how it goes, you guys. This is classic Housewives to me. Everyone's complaining and saying that OC is the worst it's ever been. And I thought this season was great. appointment television to me. And I watched every single week at least 3 times. Like, I thought it was a great season. I was so ready to see Gretchen and Tamra back together, duking it out. Like, I didn't find any of it boring. To each their own, but what they're doing on Salt Lake City is so freaking funny. Like, the way that they all do bring up the dirt that they spread about each other, but it's just so comical, and they have like that comedic timing. I also think it has a lot to do with the production companies that these people are using, because OC is famously an Alex Baskin production. And I think that, if you don't know, now you do, that Alex Baskin is a demon, and he is rooting Bravo one storyline at a time. He is all to blame for the last 5 seasons of OC, which have been, seasons 1 through 15 were fucking amazing. And now all of a sudden the last 5 have been really awful. Even I will admit that they've been worse than the first 15 seasons. Still, to me, amazing housewifery. But even the Noella season, even the COVID seasons, Gina and Emily, like, they just are what they are, you guys. Like, you can't change history. They've been there for 7 years. Like, they are part of the fabric of the show now. I don't think they're going to be around much longer. Like, I don't know if that is delusional to think that, but I actually have a feeling like they will end up getting rid of both of them at the same time. You kind of have to. Even though I think Emily's fighting harder to stay there, actually, they both got pretty messy this season. Like, if you actually did watch OC, so I'm actually really not even here to talk about OC, but see, I am so obsessed with this season. Like, I will take any chance to talk about it, even though no one else is. But everyone is talking about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Of course, it's always everyone's favorite franchise. Like, Dakota Fanning goes on Watch What Happens Live. She's like, love Salt Lake City. Like, Brittany Snow, everybody is watching. Jennifer Lawrence was just on the Las Culturistas podcast, also talking about Lisa Barlow and just being like, I think her quote was like, I think Angie's just a nicer person, so I want to be on her side. And that's actually how I feel too. I do think they're both probably equally as thirsty to be on the show and to be doing what they're doing. But I do think at their core, do you ever think Lisa would do the wife swap show? No. I think the wife swap show is like an indication the wives that do that, Wendy, Emily, Melissa Gorga, who's the other way? Angie K. So they all have to have hearts of gold. Like, you have to go take care of other people's kids for a few days on camera, live with someone else's husband in someone else's house. That show's insane. So to do that, I do think you have to have kind of like a heart of gold and somewhere down in there. I don't think any of them are like truly evil people, but they all are. To be a housewife, you have to be delusional. You have to be self-absorbed. You have to be just main character energy. It's the only way you're going to survive. So that LOL moment, though, of Angie releasing that information of Todd farting, like, just hearing everyone else laugh about it, it's brought such a joy for everybody, like spreading like wildfire through all of the podcasts, just hearing everybody's reactions to that. And I'm Team Todd over here, and I will never tolerate any Todd slander. But do I think that is, I think Lisa actually admitted like she did make that up, or that, I don't know what, or I don't know if it was confirmed. I cannot confirm or deny if that's actually true or not, but I can totally see it being true, and I can totally see being something that Lisa exaggerated, because there was one specific bite. Of course, I didn't write it down. And it was the perfect example of how she takes something that is true at its core, but she really twists it in a nasty way. And I didn't write it down, but you guys know what I'm talking about. And it's that thing that she does that really makes it hard for people to fully stand behind her. Like, even while she's fighting with Meredith about not being able to stand 10 toes, Meredith's like, I only got 5 toes down behind you right now because I only believe half of what you're saying. And I cannot, in good faith, just totally blind trust in you, because girl, you be lying too. They all are. So anyways, Heather's determined to expose them. They're all going at each other. The fact that Heather's not teaming up with the Braunwyn, I'm interested to see what they do for the rest of the season together. But that's an iconic moment. Like, that's almost as good as your husband's in the pool. Like, your husband was farting, making out with one of my friends. And was it a cheating allegation or just a previous farting allegation from before Bronwyn was around? We need to know. At the reunion, that will be the question. I just made a Twitter, which I'm not proud about, you guys, an X or whatever, because I need to be able to tweet questions for the reunion. Like, I'm sick of not being able to interact in that sense. So follow me on Twitter, on X, at BellaTalksTV, and also TikTok, Instagram. You guys know. Come follow me. So, okay, that was my LOL moment of the week. Getting over into my OMG moment of the week. I actually had a few, and this is kind of a funny countdown that I have this week because I kind of skipped last week. I was extremely sick. I don't know what bug I got like the day before Halloween, but I had no voice. I couldn't talk at all. My throat still even feels pretty swollen. I was just definitely not well enough to even pod last week. But also, I just felt like it was a very slow news week in general. So this is kind of like a mixture of stuff from last week and this week. So yeah, so as we go throughout this list, like there may be some random things. But anyways, my OMG moment of the week is the fact that BravoCon is only 1 week away, and like what are we doing? So let me go through what I'm going through for the weekend, kind of what I'm planning on doing. So again, I'm arriving on Wednesday night. Thursday I can watch Kyle Cook DJ at the T-Mobile store. Then on Thursday night, I have everyone arriving into town. I'm going to go to dinner, stuff like that. I also need to be planning and mapping out like what kind of content do you guys want to see? Like I like to go live there. I like to do little check-ins with people, little videos. Actually, it's a reminder to me that I need to make sure I have tons of storage on my phone. Damn, I should have bought a new phone before this. It's like not too late, I guess. I could go to Verizon. I mean, I don't know if my little 6, I mean, I love my little blue 6. It's like my favorite. It matches my laptop, matches my like, everything. It's my favorite thing in the whole world. Do I need like a pro? I feel like, what do I need? All right, we will discuss. If you guys also have the new phone and you feel like it's worth anything that I need to have in my life, please also let me know. All right, so BravoCon's a week away. I have to go see Kyle DJ. Okay, so then that brings us to Friday. Now, Friday again, DJ set in the morning with Meredith. And then we have the convention, all the panels. There's the Valley panel that day. There's Potomac. There's Beverly Hills panels. There's Summer House. There's all kinds of Bravo mix and mingle things. There's Bravo Wood Squares. You know, like they like to play that. There's the Bravo Verse live stage, which is just an constant mix and stream of people. It's where the escalators are, where Brynn got her shoes stuck in the escalator. That's where the Bravoverse live stage is. So there's different things going on there all the time while the convention's going on. So I imagine there's always going to be lots of content from me, but also be sure you're following, the Bravo pages, TikTok and Instagram. I'm sure that they'll be going live a lot. And then if you don't have Peacock, I really strongly suggest that you even get it just for the month of November because they're going to be putting all of the panels from BravoCon on Peacock the next day so that you can watch everything that you're missing out there. And I'm sure there'll be other exclusive little interviews and like things there too. So definitely be watching that. In goals and manifesting, I mean, I go back and forth with really like manifesting too hard because you have to be careful what you wish for. I do like to say, like, I think 2 years from now, if I'm still really doing this and passionately loving this Bravo space the way that I am right now, I would like to be hoping that I would be not hosting a panel by then, but hosting one of these little side things or like having some kind of involvement or getting one of the PR boxes at the bare minimum, because how embarrassing is it to like not get the Bravo PR box? Like I loved Bravo by Brett. If you don't follow him, he is one of my favorite people that I met at the last BravoCon that I've been following religiously since and check daily on his page. He's so funny. And he lives in Chicago, which is my old stomping grounds. He actually lived like where he hangs is like a block from where I used to live for like 7 years. So it just feels like home, but love Bravo by Brett. And he was doing the funniest parody videos of the PR Bravo box. Go check him out. So he also just like has the funniest takes on his TikTok. Like he's not afraid to go there. So, okay, yeah, BravoCon. So that's on Friday, going to the convention, lots of things going on throughout the day. Then Friday evening, I'm going to go to, there's a place called Hakkasan. Now, if you're not a Vegas person, you might not be aware, but if you are, you'll definitely know. It's one of the oldest clubs in the MGM Grand. Part of like the OG club ring that popped up back in, when EDM residencies first became a thing out there. And so if you're a music girly like me and a live music girly who loves music festivals and going to the club, because I love a DJ. I love going out to the club, which reminds me, tomorrow I'm actually going to an event that Angelina from Jersey Shore is hosting. It's like 15 minutes from my house. I'm like, I'm stupid not to just go pop in and meet her. I bought a VIP ticket thinking, okay, I should be able to at least meet her, get a picture with her or something. I saw that she's, I think, bringing Vinny 2.0 there with her. So like, what the fuck? What are we doing, girl? But I would love to see a JWoww pop up or somebody there to support. I'm not expecting to see any of the guys and I really wouldn't want to. I'd rather see a Snooki, a JWoww, a Diener. I would take any of them. But I think Vinny 2.0 is going to be there, which makes me think that she's probably not in good terms with the girls because when you have a friend who has a toxic ex on again, off again, fiance, boyfriend, whatever Vinny 2.0 is to Angelina. When they started getting back together, but you can't go back to your friends are pissed. They're sick of hearing about it. So I'm sure on the next season we'll find out. Or maybe I'll find out. Maybe I'll get some tea there tomorrow. I'm not usually one to like ask. I just, you know, like to say hello, play it cool, but maybe we'll see. We'll see what she's saying. So yeah, I'm going to be going to an event where Kyle's DJing Friday night at Hakkasan. I want to try to get a table. I want to invite some girlies, and I want to literally like fist pump to Kyle Cook. And Amanda will be there. I'm sure. I'm sure. I don't want to put too much pressure on the rest of the Summer House crew to all be there, but I'm pretty sure they'll probably all be there. So it'll be fun to go and do that. And it's the club that I went to after my wedding when I got married in Vegas. Like we had the best time ever there that night. We had our names like up on all the screens, and it was just the best wedding after party ever. So to be going back there, I actually was already back there kind of recently to go see Lil Jon there, but to go back there again in this new setting, I just love like going back to the same venues and creating new memories there every time you go back. One of the reasons why I love going to Vegas. Yeah, I'll see you guys all out there. I'm so pumped. Yeah, a little bit more tea on Saturday. The after party that I'm going to for BravoCon is hosted by the Real Housewives of Politics girlies, some of my favorite people ever. And they are doing an exclusive drag show with two, I think, huge. I mean, I know Naomi Smalls and Selena's STDs from RuPaul's Drag Race because I haven't watched the last 2 seasons. I got burnt out because if you guys are Drag Race watchers, you'll know what I'm about to say. It is so repetitive. They have the exact same formula for every single season. It got very like dry to me and hard to watch, even though I love watching that show so much. And you could argue that Top Chef's the same way. I was gonna say Project Runway is basically the same format. Like, I never get sick of that, but there's something about Drag Race that I was like, okay, I cannot watch one more like rusical. So I was kind of over it now, but I do miss that. And I need to check in with like some of the recent winners. But anyways, Naomi and Selena's, they're going to be doing an after show for BravoCon with Candace Dillard Bassett. Yes, hoping we get a drive back live performance. And guys, guess who else is going to be there? Karen Huger. It's going to be her first appearance, and she's not going to be at BravoCon. Karen's not. She's just coming out to Vegas to do this after party, kind of as her re-entry into society. Like, I'm going to be there. This is huge. So I'm really excited to come back and tell you guys about that. That's going to be some of the content you can expect from me in the next couple of weeks from BravoCon. So let's take a quick break here, and then we'll get into my top 5 most talked about moments of the week. Okay, welcome back. If you're watching me on YouTube, you'll see that that break was brought to you by the Whole Foods brand beef that they started creating their prebiotic soda. I usually love an orange mandarin flavor. That's typically like what I would choose. Orange, a strawberry, no, I mean an orange or lemon lime, I would say typically, sometimes a black cherry, something like that. So I was really excited to try this, and I needed a little bit of fiber too in my system. I am anemic, and I'm also just a girly who has a lot of girl dinners and girl lunches. So I really needed this, especially leading up to BravoCon. So yeah, that's what I was taking my break having. It just tastes so bad. I love a Dr. Pepper. I love a real soda. So I don't typically, if I'm going to have something sparkling, I would rather just go with the sparkling water. But because this has fiber in it and, prebiotic, I love a kombucha or anything like probiotic, prebiotic like that. So I got to give it a try. Anyways, let's get into my top 5 talked about moments of the week. My number 5 most talked about moment. I mean, I don't know if you guys have even seen this yet. I think you might have. It was pretty new, I think, in the last 24 hours. But apparently Teresa and Joe have officially confirmed that they have met up off camera. And there's a lot of like AI articles out there now. Beware. I was just laughing so hard with, bestie of the pod, Rhea Hensler, Coffee Meets Vodka. Who I'm also going to be with out at BravoCon, like hit us all up. Like, please, we're going to have the best time. Rhea, we were laughing because she had saw an article that Gretchen and Slade actually got married, like in their backyard. And she was just talking about, oh yeah, no, I saw that they actually just got legally married and stuff. And then she was like, oh wait, shit, this is like an AI article. And it's just so funny because now I'm like, wait, and as I'm saying this, I hope this wasn't an AI article. I think it was Us Weekly though. But okay, Teresa and Joe met up off camera. They apparently had a half-day conversation, which to me sounds about like 4 hours. They probably got together at like noon, like one day got to get together for lunch, maybe didn't leave till like dinner until it got dark out. Apparently they talked a lot of things out. unclear or unconfirmed if Melissa was in attendance. I'm assuming not. I think it was probably just Teresa and Joe. And I think at the end of the day, the consensus between them is that it's really about them getting back to work. I don't think it was like, okay, I missed you so much and it's time to bury the hatchet. I think that they're just really desperate to get back to work. But this news of them coming and meeting together is also on the heels of the release of a new LOUIE video. And the few LOUIE videos that are already out there in the ether are scary, red-faced, like, Lobster LOUIE, they call him. He gets very red, he gets very angry, and he's always threatening somebody or threatening to do something in these videos. Or on the contrast, he's being scary, like love bomby, also red-faced. So either way, it's very forceful, and he's just always had really rancid energy. So now it's like Teresa and Joe are meeting up, and that's like, because did she know that this video is about to circulate? And she's like, okay, not only do I need to leave my husband, and I'm going to need the support of my only family that's alive, my brother. And I think it's also just time for like the kids, and Melissa's thriving, doing wife swap. She's clearly in the reboot already, is going to be she's going to be at BravoCon. She's on several panels. Like, Bravo's still really championing Melissa. And it's like, now that they chose her over Teresa, I just think that she was willing to do so much more and had a lot less ego when it came to working with them, which is really what they need. Like, can you imagine the amount of ego that's in the Real Housewives, like in that room at the Caesars Forum in Vegas, like the amount of ego that's about to be in there? So not everybody can be number one. Not everybody can be the GOAT. So now, do I agree that Teresa is the OG and is the more famous one? Yes. But I also feel like you have to know when your time is to go. Like, Dorinda had to go, Bethany had to go. Like, everybody has to have their time to go, I think. Even Lisa Vanderpump, literally still to this day, again, one of the greats, also being highlighted so much at BravoCon. Like, she's not going anywhere either. She's just so successful and such a part of the fabric of Housewives. I wish Nene could have this moment where she could swallow her pride, because could you imagine? They would bring her in on with a chariot. They would announce her re-entry. Like, she just can't do it though, you guys. It's truly the biggest ego that's ever been on Bravo is Nene. She really, Okay, speaking of photo ops and things that are going on at Bravo, okay, the photo op situation was an absolute issue. Nobody was able, or like only 1% of Bravo attendees were able to actually register successfully for a photo op. Now, you're supposed to get one per day. I got 0 all 3 days. I tried all 3 days right at noon, sat down, put the link. I couldn't get in. It really was painful. I didn't get any photo ops. So there were some really good ones, you guys. McBee and Alexia from Real Housewives of Miami are paired together. Kristen Doty and Jessie McBee have a photo op together. And then there was like Lisa Vanderpump by herself. There was Kyle and Kathy together. You could do a photo op with the two sisters. There were so many good ones, and I got 0. So I will be doing none. But I did see some people in the Facebook group like bitching so hard. One person actually did type a strongly worded letter to Bravo complaining, and Front Gate Tickets, who controls, I guess, the website and all the ways that you're able to do these registering for things that the ticket's involved with and everything like that. And there's going to be like a small class action lawsuit, like, of everybody. I'm definitely going to be part of it. Like, I'm pissed. I did not get anything that was promised to me. Apparently it's somewhere in our ticket sale that says like, with general admission or with VIP admission, you're entitled to like certain things. And the fact that we were unable and everyone's computers were glitching, or like some people, basically nobody was successful. Yeah. I mean, something like this always happens. Like, I tried to go to Electric Zoo a couple of years ago, and I only had a 1-day ticket. I really only wanted just to go see Cascade, which was like on Friday, the opening day of the festival. Like, let me just get a Friday single day ticket. And that day, on the way there, in the cab 1 mile away from Randall's Island, the entire festival got canceled. And they were like, oh yeah, no worries, we'll just like refund your card. And I never got refunded $700. So, because I bought 2 VIP single day tickets. And yeah, never saw that money. So I just get weary now of these things and buying tickets and all these add-on events. Now, another thing that I've been peeping on is the Watch What Happens Live event. Now, they charge between $220 and $330 per Watch What Happens Live taping, which again is a 1-hour taping. And the show ends up getting cut down into like a 23-minute thing. So they're doing all these commercials and that stuff like that. Like, it's a lot of just sitting there. So to me, it's just not worth it is the point that I'm making. I bought some of them the first couple of years I was going. And then last year, I think it was, they were just like handing out tickets because they're so expensive and they moved to a bigger venue. They moved to the Planet Hollywood Theater now this year. Instead, before they were at the Paris Theater, which was only like half the size. And you guys, I'm telling you, like I keep looking to see the tickets. Like they're only, I would say 20% sold. So if 80% of all these tickets are still going to be available, they can't have all those seats just be empty. I think they're going to be handing out tickets for free at the festival, or I keep calling it the festival, the convention. So yeah, praying that I will get tickets to some last minute Watch What Happens live events. I would love to sneak in and do some of that. But again, I have been there, done that before. So anyways, okay, why am I talking about that again? Okay, because of BravoCon. I don't know how I got back on that. I'm obviously BravoCon obsessed. But okay, yeah, Teresa and Joe met up off cameras. Again, this is because of Louis circulating. And I think just them knowing, okay, they're going to see each other at BravoCon. Well, Teresa's also involved in BravoCon. So, of course, her and Melissa are both going to be there. So is Dolores and Margaret, Joe Bonino. So a lot of people are going to be there. Even freaking Jennifer Fessler, the cockroach of Bravo celebrities, she's going to be there. So, all right, I'm interested to see what develops with that at BravoCon. And Louis is also supposed to be there with her. I mean, I imagine they're going to pretend like nothing ever happened. Lisa never, or Teresa never comments on anything Louis does. So I'm not expecting her to say, oh, I saw the video or anything like that. But of course, this is a perfect example that if that would have been circulating while they were filming and brought up on camera, she would go nuclear over. And you can't help it that this stuff's going to come out. Like the public knowledge is going to know, they're going to dig it up. It's going to end up on Twitter, on Reddit, whatever. And you're going to know about it. So you can't just unknow about it. You have to just decide whether or not you're going to bring it up. That's what you have to decide. Okay, so my number 4 most talked about moment of the week is, quite a jump over to Golden Bachelor Nation. And I'm sure you guys have been seeing these headlines about Gary Turner, the Golden Bachelor from season 1. Now, Gary was previously married and his wife died apparently of a mysterious illness. And this is something that I don't remember from the package. Like I was so into his season on Golden Bachelor. He ended up picking Teresa, who was the best fit. She's such a sweet, older lady and like kind of an older Southern successful lady. And now all of these stories are coming out. Like, I don't know if they had an NDA and now it's been like a year and they're able to talk about it. Gary put out a book and there were a lot of things in the book. And I think Teresa wasn't happy about it because again, they were Golden Bachelor season 1 winners. They got married. They had something called the Golden Wedding. I've talked about it on this podcast like 50 times. It was an insane event. And then they got divorced 3 months later. So everybody was like, what the hell went wrong? Why did they even get married? And now we're finding out like a year later, 2 years later, what really went down. Now, apparently, Teresa said that she was taking a walk or was walking on the property or in the backyard at Gary's house, which is in Indiana somewhere. And he said to Teresa, when I kill you, that's where I'm going to hide your body. Like it pointed to some weird old shed on the property. Now, yeah, that's fucking weird and creepy. I don't know if he was trying to make a joke. I mean, how many people have made jokes about this? Kristen Bell was just under fire last week on making a joke about Dax Shepard, her husband, saying, you're the only guy that would never kill me or something like that. And everybody thought that was very insensitive. And it's like, okay, if we can't make jokes about husbands and wives like killing each other anymore, we've just gotten way too sensitive from true crime. That's one of the oldest jokes in the book. It's like, I'm going to kill my husband. I'm going to kill my wife. To me, I didn't think it was that big of a deal to hear that was an accusation. I think maybe Teresa, if she did take it that way, I don't think Gary is a murderer for the record. However, I could be persuaded with certain evidence and, he's very close with his kids and stuff. Like, I just don't think that if he poisoned and murdered his ex-wife, that would be the case. So I don't think he's like a murder mastermind. He just kind of comes off not that smart. Then again, that doesn't mean he could be a murderer. So yeah, again, everything is alleged, but that's just the word on the street is about Golden Bachelor suspected possible murderer Gary Turner. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's go on to my number 3 most talked about moment of the week. It is kind of a random one, but it's something that I had to catch up with Dancing with the Stars from last week. So they had their Halloween episode and I loved it. It was my favorite episode of the season so far. And I famously love a Disney night. So that's usually my favorite episode. I loved Dedication Night. I did not like Rock and Roll Induction Hall of Fame Night. That was like my least favorite week they've had so far, which is just this past week. So that's why I want to revisit the Halloween night. So this is the week that ultimately ended up sending Jen Affleck home from Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. And they put, weirdly, they always are like in no particular order. These are the bottom three. And they put Whitney in the bottom three with Jen, which was so stupid because then they put the cameras in on everyone's face. And of course, when they announced who was going home, which was Jen, Whitney kind of covered her mouth and was like, oh my God, like, I'm smiling. The girl's allowed to smile. She probably for at least a little bit thought, okay, I have a third chance at going home right now. Like, I think she was celebrating, being excited that she was going home. I don't think she was laughing at Jen. Whitney is so much better. I don't care and to be honest, I don't think Jen, I've talked about this before, I don't think that she has like some great sparkling personality. And yes, while I do support postpartum mothers, Whitney's just as much postpartum as Jen is. So I just don't think that that's fair, to put them in different like mother boxes, but just an interesting little like mini feud that was breaking out. But I am Team Whitney, which is go back and listen to all of my podcast episodes. I have been very, very critical of Whitney, and I have been a very big supporter of Jen. So it's not even about that. I just think she is such a good performer. I love watching Whitney dance, and I really, really want her to be on Broadway so I can go see her perform. So that's just where I stand on that. So another little feud from that, though, that broke out on Halloween night is Cheryl Burke was the celebrity judge, and she was giving out everybody's scores, and she gave out a 9 to ALIX Earle. And it would have been a perfect score. It was a 39 out of 40, but the 9 from Cheryl was because something with Alex's arms needed to be extended in the Paso Doble, and you're not supposed to break the arm. And she was like, I'm sorry, I'm just a stickler for that. And I do agree they are there to critique the dancing, and you shouldn't just give like a 40 to somebody because they're the most popular and the most liked or whatever. I did actually agree with that. Now, ALIX Earle's stepmom took to the interwebs afterwards to social media, and she decided to call out Cheryl, and she was like, oh, Cheryl, whatever. She was like just kind of slamming her for being kind of like, I think, coming off salty, or like kind of being like having like, she's kind of like, what's your problem? Why did you give her a 9 out of 10? And then saying something about her Ozempic use, which Cheryl has used. She went through a public divorce. I think she was married to one of the other dance pros. Don't quote me. I think she got divorced. They had a kid. I think, she's gone through problems she has some things going on there. So Alex's stepmom calling out Cheryl was like pretty like, it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like kind of, let's not like, do that. Let's not be starting like beefs with Cheryl. Even though people do love to come for her, for some reason, she does get a lot of heat online, and people really don't like Cheryl, like because she just has a strong personality, and she's definitely not warm and fuzzy. So people just probably don't like that about her. But what blew my mind is that I was today years old when I learned, and I'm like, I don't want to say I'm a long time ALIX Earle fan, but again, if you've been listening to me, I've been loving her through Dancing with the Stars. I've been predicting her as a winner since the beginning. I said Whitney was going to be top 3, just like Ariana, number 3, third, third. And then that was going to be her fate. But I do think ALIX is going to win. Her and Val are they're so good chemistry wise, and they look like they're having so much fun together. And ALIX I think she's so likable. I love her Get Readies with Me. I think that reminds me of me when I was younger. And I've always said, like, if I had TikTok back when I was her age, I would totally have been doing the same things as her, telling crazy stories, talking about what I wore and what I did the night out before. Like, that's totally what life was like before, in the 2010s for me. So back when Instagram was invented, I had been out of college for 1 year. So that's just what was going on in my life. But I just love ALIX Earle. I think she's just like a cutie patootie. I really like watching her. And I'm so glad her and her boyfriend, I think, allegedly broke up, Braxton. I didn't like them together. I thought that they were just like weird. It was giving like PR relationship. I want to see her with somebody I don't know. Somebody so cool. And she's also so young. She should be single and be like living the best years of her life, winning Dancing with the Stars, hopefully. But the point I'm getting to is that I was today years old when I realized that her stepmom is Ashley DUPRE, like the Ashley DUPRE, who was a very famous tabloid, like plastered on the cover of the Sun and the Globe and all of these magazines back in the day, because she was a famous call girl that was exposed and kind of, was made public and was connected to with a divorce, who is now Alix's dad. I mean, it was Alix's dad at the time too. Alix was alive at the time of this, and Alix's dad was still married to her mom at the time. but he cheated with Ashley DUPRE, and now they're together. I mean, the lore of this, I did not know that was her. I mean, again, filler, face work. I did not know it was her. She obviously must have had a nose job. Like, she looks totally different. I went back and I watched all the clips. I didn't know that she was on a reality show with Heidi Montag and a bunch of other like celebrity obsessed people, probably on VH1, I think. Like, let's just do a quick little, I have to know what the name of this was. Heidi Montag, Ashley DUPRE. Okay, let's see here. Okay, it was called Famous Food. Oh, I do kind of remember this, where celebrities are put together and they attempt to open a restaurant together, and they each have little like roles. Heidi Montag was on the same team as Ashley DUPRE. Other people on the cast were Danielle Staub. Yes, I remember now this. Juicy J, DJ Paul, Jake Pavelka, if you guys remember Jake from The Bachelor. Vinny Pastore, who's from The Sopranos. So it was a competition show and it was on in 2011. So yeah, that makes sense for exactly what I was just talking about. 2011. So yeah, I did not know that was Alex Earl's stepmom. Holy shit. My mind is blown now. And I'm wondering like, okay, so she's kind of a Nepo baby. She is kind of a Nepo baby. So it's interesting that she's had such a rise to fame. And I wonder if I don't think younger people, like if I, a millennial who's obsessed with pop culture, didn't know about that, I don't think that younger Gen Z people on TikTok know her as Ashley DUPRE's stepdaughter. But I definitely am very interested in all of that and need a reality show as soon as possible because Ashley seems messy as hell still. Okay, so yeah, that was my number 3 most talked about moment of the week, that whole Dancing with the Stars mess. And I'm interested to see, I mean, people are really hating that Andy's still on there. I don't mind it. I think it's kind of funny. I think I'm predicting next with the voting. People are saying it's going to be Whitney. I am going to be pissed. I think it's time for Andy to go. Then it might be time for Jordan to go. And, with Ezra. I don't know. We'll have to watch and see. Okay, so my number 2 most talked about moment of the week is another breaking news that CHRISHELL Quits has officially left Selling Sunset. And after 9 seasons, she was the OG that began the show. She was kind of the heart of the show for many, many seasons, the main character, the main key holder, like the center diamond. Like she's like the main key holder in the Selling Sunset posters. And it really all started with her husband, Justin Hartley from This Is Us. They were married season 1. Amanza was a big part of it. Mary and Amanza, Jason and Brett, the twins, all have been friends since over 20 years. When they all grew up together out there, lived out there in Hollywood together, have been partying together, which is a big part of this season, is the exposure of all of their drug habits and kind of like some of the behind the scenes of what's been going on some of these past seasons and in their past personally, and socially, what they've been up to. So it gets exposed in episode 3. I believe it's the Friends Giving episode, the Girls Giving episode, where all of the brokers get together. And this show, again, has been crazy since the beginning. Like, what a crazy concept that these girls really do work together in this office, and they really do, again, have 20-year, some of them, friendships. So some of the newbies that have came in, like Chrishell, Bree, Chelsea, Emma, these are some of the newbies that have been, added into the mix over the seasons. I can't remember which seasons they've all came in, but I think it was Emma that came in, then it was Chelsea that came in, then it was Bree that came in. And then there's been other randoms like Sandra Vergara this season, Sophia Vergara. Like there's always like some weirdo that comes in that's like a bone collector every season that's trying to like break in. They're always like people that are clearly friends of either the twins or friends of somebody else on the show that are just trying to like get in, or somebody who like knows casting and they give them like a chance and they always flop and are gone. So that's really been the core girls that have been involved every season. And so this season, they all get together for a girls giving, and it's really crazy. The episode 2, they actually call Scary Mary, and they apparently, I've heard on TikTok, allegedly, that's like the nickname for Mary when she's using using substances that are powdery that you sniff. So apparently it's that with all of their drug of choices, and this is all kind of came out this season because it all started when basically. It started when, what I understand from the lore, is that a couple of seasons again, these are real estate agents that are really selling houses. So apparently CHRISHELL got listed on a couple of houses, either with Nicole or something to do with CHRISHELL taking some like real commission that was owed to Nicole. taking credit for some houses being sold on the show that really it was Nicole that sold them and listed them and did all the work, but CHRISHELL was taking credit. So then the next season, Nicole's like, I'm coming in and I'm going to fucking come for CHRISHELL. Well, the problem is like when you start going for people's families and stuff, that's when it gets messy. But for a couple of seasons now, they've been tussling with what started over commission checks has now turned into your family uses drugs. No, you use drugs. No, you have, stuff going on in your home. Like, and then of course, CHRISHELL is with G, who is a non-binary partner, and that becomes also kind of a storyline. So even though the show is about what goes on in the office, of course it's a lot what goes on in their personal lives too, in their relationships. CHRISHELL she now has officially left Selling Sunset, which I kind of had a feeling she probably was trying to stay for like 10 seasons. I'm sure she loves the paycheck. I'm sure she loves to show up and film in cute outfits, not really have to work that hard. And she's kind of always a fan favorite. And I actually like love G and I love their relationship. But my favorite have always been Chelsea. I really like Chelsea and what she's brought. I always loved Christine Quinn. She was my favorite Selling Sunset member, even though she was diabolical and evil. I really just she was the energy that I loved. I thought she was crazy, and the fashion's always been so good. And I've always loved this show from the beginning. I actually really liked Amanza too. She was really heartwarming as a single mom, and she went through a lot of struggles as well. But it's very clear that like they've all gotten way too famous, and this has gotten way too, they're real Selling Sunset stars now. And it's just gotten way too messy behind the scenes. The stakes have gotten way too high, and someone had to go. People needed to self-eliminate. So we see Nicole get fired after the girls' giving because what happens is a huge fight breaks out. Nicole tells CHRISHELL, okay, your dead parents basically were drug dealers, or your parents did drugs, so you can't really tell me that like I do drugs because your parents do drugs. So it was such a stupid fight. And then Amanda's like, Nicole, you can't say that her parents do drugs because you do drugs because you've done drugs with me. And Amanda admits on camera that they've done drugs together. And this just becomes like a whole thing all season. Then it becomes Mary. Then like, well, Mary, you're doing drugs too. And that's why you're freaking out all the time, because Chelsea and Mary have been feuding for a couple of seasons, and which really all comes back to Chelsea thinking that it's weird that Bree is with Nick Cannon, which is weird because anybody who chooses to be with Nick Cannon is weird. And the way that Bree talks about Nick Cannon, and she's like, oh, we've been together for 10 years. Like he's had literally 15 children in the 10 years you guys have been together. It's like Jazzy over on Real Houses of Potomac. Only she only has 2 random babies out of wedlock that came out of, into their relationship. Bree has all of these other babies and babies' mamas, but she's convinced that her and Nick are together and in love and that they're end game. So it is weird. So everybody comments on each other's like weird situations that they have going on, because that's what goes on in reality TV. But a lot of people, they can't take the heat in the kitchen. They got to get out. So we lost Nicole. She got fired. She moved to Nashville. She's out of it. We lost CHRISHELL. She's quit now. And another reason why CHRISHELL has quit is because in this season, Emma is dating this billionaire named Blake. And he apparently is an heir, I think, to like Orville Redenbacher. Did he create microwave popcorn? Whoever that was, Blake's an heir to that. So we know, but Emma's also a self-made millionaire. If not, isn't she like also a billionaire or something? So I don't know why she feels like she needs another one. I mean, of course, a power couple is amazing, but she keeps trying to say that the only reason she really is in love with Blake is because he's so family oriented, even though he's 10 years younger than her. And he really wants to have kids. And I think she maybe is just having a hard time finding guys that are that successful, that want to have a family, that maybe don't already have kids that are that age. Whatever the reason is, she's justifying left and right that why she wants to be with Blake. Of course, with every billionaire, they have to be a Republican. They have to be MAGA. So Blake's also anti-trans, anti-LGBTQ, anti all of the things that we love in the world. And Emma is obviously with this man, and Emma's best friend's with CHRISHELL, who's with G. And apparently Blake would say the wrong pronouns sometimes. And CHRISHELL is a little bit of a Karen. She's not someone who's going to let that slip and be like, oh, he means well. No, if you don't get the pronouns right, she's not going to like you. And they have been beefing for a long time. CHRISHELL has a lot of disdain for this guy. So it's just very clear, something had to give there, and it was CHRISHELL. So I don't know if Emma's going to come back. Apparently, in the end of the season, Emma and CHRISHELL make up. Emma says that she's not with Blake. I don't know if it stays that way or if Emma is back together with Blake. It's giving very much Alexia and Todd. I actually haven't watched the reunion yet. I really wanted to sit down to record this instead of watch the reunion. I also haven't watched this week's episodes of Married at First Sight, which I'm not going to talk about this week. I really think I'm going to need to do like a bonus episode breakdown for the girlies because they've already released 10 episodes, 11 episodes, and it's so much to talk about. I don't know why they're releasing it in such an expedited schedule. We're getting the first 16 episodes in 1 month. I think they're trying to get it all out before the holidays and just be done with it for the end of the year. So that's what's going on with that. So yeah, lots of stuff going on in season 2 of Selling Sunset. My favorite thing is the way that they're editing the episodes with the twins. If you're following me on my Instagram, I clipped a couple really, really funny, just stupid conversations these Oppenheim twins have together, Jason and Brett. I know that they're problematic. I know that a huge thing actually, because I've been following this page, her name is Teresa Barriqua, and hold on to your hats if you go to follow her because she is some kind of an attorney who apparently knows all the boundaries of which her rights are to talk about things that she's talking about. And she's going ham on all of the Selling Sunset girls. She knows a lot of behind the scenes things about, again, the drug use that was done on set, a lot of stuff about the twins, a lot of stuff about Mary behind the scenes, and apparently how she's very racist and her racist tendencies towards Chelsea, and a big reason why they've been trying to get Chelsea off of the show, which Chelsea is the only girl of color on the show. Amanda, yes, I guess you can count her, but she's not really, she's kind of a friend of. So to be giving like main cast energy, Chelsea is really the only, and she's African, like she's Black. And not saying Amanda isn't, I think Amanda is mixed race, of course, whatever. But I'm just saying, they all seem to have problems. They all seem to be very cliquey. It really is OGs versus newbies. And it really is a lot of politics and fame. It is LA, it's Hollywood, Nick Cannon, Shell. It's just a lot of stuff going on over there. I really enjoyed the season, and I'm hoping there's going to be a season 10, but apparently the twins threatened to cancel it because they are executive producers of not only Selling Sunset, but Selling the OC. And they, I guess, threatened to cancel the show because Chelsea confronted the twins and Mary on camera about being racist, and then they cut it all from the season and it was never shown. So there's a lot of stuff we don't know about, but that was my number 2 most talked about moment of the week, the Selling Sunset season and reunion. And okay, so my number 1 most talked about moment of the week. It's kind of a random one too. To me, it is the number 1 most important thing because it is the number 1 sign that nature is healing and that I think we're going to really like be getting back to a good place with OC is the fact that TAMRA and VICKI officially reunited. And it's so funny because there were 2 videos posted. There was a video posted that's like SponCon sponsored content of some kind of coffee creamer, I think, or instant latte something. And it's TAMRA texting VICKI saying, hey, we should get together over coffee. And then VICKI's like, okay, I'll come to your house. And then in the thing, she shows up, they have the coffee and they get, they like kiki. And it's very clear that they're going to be banding together, coming back for season 20. And if it's not, this is like the campaign to ALIX Baskin to be like, look, we're like officially ready to like welcome VICKI back as a main cast member. VICKI famously said she would not come back as a friend of, but I think that's BS. I want her back on my screen so bad. She's going to be at BravoCon too, but I want her to, hopefully, she had a photo of her and TAMRA. I'm like, I need to be there. Oh, I need to be smushed between them. In the behind the scenes video that Christian Grey Snow, who if you guys don't know is VICKI's podcast partner, and I love him. I love Christian. I've met him a few times. He's just so funny and a really nice person. I'm sure he'll be at BravoCon also. He, though, posted a behind the scenes video of like the making of this TikTok or whatever that they made together, TAMRA and VICKI. And in the car, they're driving over there and VICKI is like, Shannon's going to shit her pants when she sees that I'm going over to make up with TAMRA. And it's just so funny, like just her knowing and having that acknowledgement that, okay, Shannon is not going to be happy. But Shannon knows at this point that she cannot have this bridge be burned and that she really needs to put her tail between her legs and let go of her grudge with TAMRA if she's going to come back in season 20 and like stand a chance. She's got to be able to like be the Trace Amigas again. We have to have, again, nature fully heal because they're not going to stand a chance. I think that they are going to bring Emily and Gina back with TAMRA. I don't really want Gina Keogh back. I think Gina actually is like, I think she's kind of mean and she's kind of thirsty. She might be good, but I would like to see Lynn come back. I actually really would like to see Alexis come back also. I think that would be the perfect way to give Shannon a storyline, let's be honest, would be having Alexis back again now that her and Johnny G are married. There's no like, just have him come back and have like new drama. That would be great. Oh my gosh, also, I want to say at the reunion, I thought that was so great last night that Tamra said her and Sydney hugged and talked in the driveway for half an hour. Again, nature is healing, you guys. People are like, oh, Tamra, whatever. She's so, look at, if she can make amends with Sydney and make amends with Vicki, okay. I don't know. You guys know I stand my little Tammy, my Tammy Sue. So, okay, that's all I have for you guys this week. So I'm going to let you go. This was a wonderful episode. Thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure you're following me. Make sure you're spreading the word, and supporting me and doing all the things, commenting, liking, sharing. And I will see you guys all back probably not till after BravoCon. I'm going to be honest, unless I release an episode from out there, which I'm not ruling out, and taking all my equipment out there. Maybe I will check in with some little mini episodes to recap. That's a good tease. If you're following me, I would assume you can check back for at least a wrap up of each day. I would like to maybe at the end of the day, come back to my room, turn my mic on, and let you know how the day went. And any tea that I heard on the floor. And I'm also going to be definitely like broadcasting live from the BravoCon floor. So you can expect to see a lot from me there. All right. I love you, Bellas, so much. Ciao, Bellas.